This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app to bank, borrow, and invest. Say goodbye to account fees and give your bank balance a glow-up with a SoFi high-yield savings account. Get over 8 times the national average savings rate and an epic welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up at SoFi.com/SXM. SoFi checking and savings offer through SoFi Bank N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending. Zero tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is Morbid.
It sure is.
I never know. Oh.
Ash just
yeeted.
slammed that pop filter on her microphone.
Yeah. You know what it is? Normally I have it, like, there's like a little wire on it that comes up, but yeah. Mine is facing down and it usually comes up and over.
It really threw her for a loop.
Yeah.
Really Mercury retrograded you right out there.
Oh my God, but Mercury retrograde is over. Couldn't be happier.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to
Mercury
be
in
ya.
retrograde.
Yeah. You know when the next fucking Mercury retrograde is, though?
When the fuck is it?
It's during my birthday.
Hate that for you.
Yeah, but you know what? A Gemini will stay shining.
That's true.
Fuck them all.
There you go.
Yeah. I can't wait for my birthday.
Oh God, we're not even
It's
close.
only... Yeah, we are.
We're not even
It's like
close.
3 months away.
Only
January,
Ash.
February, March. I'm saying it's March already. April, May, June. And it's like right at the
Yeah.
beginning of June, so basically it's only 2 months away.
There you go. Everybody keep your countdowns going.
What are you gonna get me?
You know what I'm gonna get you?
No.
Part 3 of Willie Pickton.
I don't want that. I would like the gift receipt for that, please.
Can't have it. Can't have it. Can't give it back.
No, I actually do want that, so let's get it.
Well, today's episode is going to be ad-free, and it's going to be shorter because this is just kind of a wrap-up. I didn't want to, rush all this at the end of part 2, and I just wanted to give, one of those fun little cliffhangers.
It's fun.
It's fun to get an ad-free episode because, ads. Schmads.
This is a fucking carnival.
It's
just fun.
It's just a carnival in
Willy
here.
Willy fun time.
But one thing I just wanted to say before I start is that I'm part 2. I was telling everybody, please go read this book on the farm because it's so good. Oh my goodness, the author is phenomenal and extraordinary, Stevie Cameron. And I said it's actually a woman.
Oh.
And a couple of our listeners actually pointed out, and then I also just looked back into it and was like, oh, I don't know why I think I just automatically said he. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a woman, Stevie Cameron, and she is phenomenal, insanely talented, and a very well-known journalist in Canada.
I love that. Reminds me of Stevie Nicks.
There you go. Stevie's a great name. And you know what? Go read On the Farm. I'm still telling you that.
Wait, what should we read?
It's amazing the amount of stuff you are going to get from this book that I couldn't even fit in here, that I didn't even want. I was like, you got to go read the book.
Did you get it on your Kindle Cloud Reader?
Yes, I did.
Could you share it with me?
I can.
All right.
And you know what? I have the weirdest Kindle Cloud library.
Oh, same. Some of mine are children's books because when we were separated, I bought a bunch of Kindle books to read to your kids, but then I realized
Zoom.
it would not work via FaceTime because I was on the FaceTime.
Yeah, it didn't work, but it was a nice thought.
Yeah.
And it's nice to sprinkle those in.
Yeah.
So, when we left you last time, the police had come to Willie Pickton's farm. They had already found IDs and clothing. They had found fuzzy handcuffs, one being tested positive for blood.
Aye.
They found zip ties. They found dildos. They found a box full of kitchen knives next to his bed. They found papers and objects and bills and all other things with the missing women's names on them.
And they found a gun with a dildo over it.
They found a gun with a dildo stretched over the barrel.
That's not okay.
That's so much. They also found this weird glass jar with a bunch of hair stuff in it. I mean, they found, and the thing that was really crucial was that inhaler of Serena Abbott's waist.
Right.
And so they were able to get the bigger search warrant to come back on the property. This search became the biggest crime scene like investigation and search and excavation at one point in Canada's history.
Oh, I believe it. That farm is huge.
It is unbelievable. The pictures, I urge you to Google pictures of the Pickton farm just so you can really get a feel for, one, how terrifying this place was.
Yeah.
Two, how disgusting this place was.
Double, yeah.
And three, how massive it is. It's huge. And then I think of these women who are being led to this farm. When you arrive there, it must be... I mean, walking into that place, every picture I saw, I was like, I can't imagine getting out of a car and walking into that. And being like, this is not going to end well.
You have to nope right the fuck out of there.
But it's like they were already in such a bad position. It sucks.
Right.
Now, this whole investigation ended up costing $70 million.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Holy shit.
And they had to go like bit by bit. It took years.
Wow.
And to identify these women... Many of them remain unidentified.
Oh.
They were in bits and pieces. There was not one full body found on this farm.
You're kidding.
Yeah, they were all in pieces. They started with Willie's trailer because that was where they were really finding all the stuff. That's where they figured they would find more. They found Heather Bottomsley's, many of her items. Like they found notebooks of hers. They found clothes, IDs, all kinds of stuff with her name on them. They also found syringes filled with antifreeze.
No. So
Yep.
he was not kidding when he said that.
He was not kidding. And one of the police officers actually on scene, it was a female police officer, and she had worked on a farm. She lived and worked on a farm currently while they were doing this.
Oh, shit.
So obviously to her, walking into... Because this is not normal.
No.
Like we talked in like part 2 how, you know, that bolt gun, the pneumatic bolt gun is actually something that is used and is very normal, but Willie wasn't using proper things. Like he wasn't, you know, he was using like a legit nail gun.
Yeah.
Which I know like a lot of our listeners who said like they worked on farms or grew up on farms or just know that bolt gun is known as a very normal thing to do.
Right.
But that aside, the way he was keeping these animals, the way he was treating them, the way he was slaughtering them, the way he was keeping them after slaughter, all of it was wrong.
I hate that so much. If there's one thing that honestly like sometimes makes me angrier than like murder is animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty like hurts me in a different part of my soul.
Because you and I say it all the time, animals are only here, like especially like dogs and cats and stuff, like they're here to like make you happy.
Exactly. And it's like you choose to have an animal.
Right. Like, yeah, nobody
You know?
made you take it.
Like you actively had to go get an animal and bring it into your life. Just treat it well.
In most cases.
Yeah, like just treat it well.
Yeah.
You know, like it seems like one of those things like just, you know, it loves you.
I know.
Just love it back.
There's so many things that you've said during this case that made me just want to go get my cats.
I know, right?
And like kiss them.
And the thing with this is like there are so many farms and, you know, places like this where they do it correctly, like the correct way. Like, you know, everybody has different opinions about like meat eating and veganism and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that because everyone has their own thoughts on that.
Yes.
I'm not going to go into what I think either. But I think that like there's so many farmers who are doing these things in correct ways,
in the most
and, you know,
humane way that
and
they
it's
can.
like this makes it look crazy, and that sucks because I'm sure a lot of farmers in Canada were like, no,
it's not all farms.
This is not what we do. Like
No.
we do this in the right way. You don't have to worry about our meat. You
Well,
know?
and it's sad because, like you said, at one point they had like 700 pigs on that farm. So I can only imagine what those 700 pigs went through.
Yeah, which I guess 700 pigs on like a farm like this, which again, thank you to our listeners because a couple
were they
of
like, it's not that much?
They were like, actually, that's like
Standard.
that's a nice big pig farm. Like that's very normal. But obviously, in this case, you know, they were being treated horrifically and they were not taken care of, and it's just really sad.
No,
because you do see like these other farms where they're like really taking like. They devote their entire lives to taking care of these animals
because
and making
realistically,
sure they have good lives.
That should be why you have a farm.
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
It makes, it made farmers look bad, and that's not cool. Because we love farmers.
Yeah, they're the
Hello
best.
to all our farmer listeners.
Hello, Farmer Johns.
You guys have been awesome. The people that have like reached out and been like, I just want to let you know what slopping is and let you know about that pneumatic bolt gun.
Somebody told me on Twitter that they're gonna slop their cats from now on, and I want to like steal that from them.
It's just a fun thing to say.
When I get home, because obviously I'm not home right now, I'm gonna be like, Drew, did you slop the cats?
Did you slop the
and
cats?
he's gonna be like, what the
Drew's gonna be like, get the fuck
He's gonna be like, can you come back to where you went from?
Yeah, he's gonna be like, what?
Can you go back to where you came from?
From whence you came.
I have coffee next to me and it has not quite kicked in.
No, not yet.
At 5 p.m.
But yeah, so this one police officer that I was mentioning that lived on a farm herself, grew up on one, she was very interested in seeing these animals. She was like, I have to know what's going on here. And when she went into the slaughterhouse where, Willie really enjoyed his time, she found, and just like fair warning, talking about like animal cruelty, basically.
Yeah.
She found terrible condition. She found dead pigs. She found pigs that were sick and like stacked on top of each other, just laying there sick and dying.
Why do you do that? Why?
She found pigs with like infections on their hooves and like all this other, like, just in terrible. One of them had just given birth to like a litter of piglets, and the piglets had like rolled down a hill in the mud, and they were dead, all of them. One of the dogs on the property was like playing with one. It was
Jesus.
This was literal. These poor victims, these poor investigators, everybody who had to witness this.
It just sounds
mayhem.
like it's hell on a farm.
It truly, like, this is Hell Farm. Like,
Literally.
This is what you would think of with like a horror movie version of a farm.
It sounds like a Shudder special.
Yeah. And I guess they did call in like vets and stuff, and they tried to like save some of them. They did euthanize a few because they just couldn't save them.
Yeah.
But they did try to do their best to try to get some, and they like got some of them and like put them in other places,
Like rehabilitated
to try
them.
to rehabilitate them.
Well, and like we said in part 1 or 2, like pigs are one of the smartest animals on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Like they knew what was happening.
And that's the thing. And this woman who was one of the investigators, I couldn't find her name, but she was so upset about it that she like brought some with her back to her farm.
I would have done that.
She went and got them food from her farm and was giving them like good food, like that you're supposed to feed pigs.
Because God only knows what he was feeding them. It was just so
sad. Like, because that's like the other side of this is like, obviously it's human beings. That's what we concentrate on. But it's like, there's also this whole awful other side of like, he wasn't just abusing people. He was also abusing the animals on his farm, and it's awful.
He was like a horribly rounded asshole.
Yeah, just the worst of the worst kind of humanity that you could see. So they found, one thing they found a ton of is just like weird sex toys in Willie's trailer, which like makes me feel some type of way, because when you look at them, you're like, "Wuggle."
Ew. I just like, why do you need that many?
Yeah, it's just, and when it's in this situation, it just,
well, because that's
normal situation, you're like, live your life.
We know that like 99.9% of the people that went there, it was not consensual.
They were not leaving. So
right.
There was, and like I think we had said in part 2, that there was like walls that were clearly stained with blood that had been washed off. So a ton of the mattresses were like soaked with dark fluid, like blood and other things. They found more women's clothing. They found purses. They found jewelry, makeup, just everywhere.
You know what was weird? And I think I posted the picture for part 2. Outside of his trailer, he had almost like a deck kind of, and there was just a shit ton of office chairs.
Yep.
On the deck, like for no reason.
He just needed them.
It was bizarre.
You never know. Like when your office chair starts to squeak, just go and get another one.
Fuck the WD-40. Just get that one.
That's all that was. I don't know what you're talking about. But so back in the slaughterhouse, when they finally cleaned it up with all the, poor infected and suffering animals in there, they started looking around in there. And what they found was the hooks in the slaughterhouse where he would hang the pigs. They found like little pieces of human skin on those hooks.
Oh my god!
Like still there, just still there. They also would find like little pieces of human, like not just skin on there. Like he had just left actual tissue and flesh and whatever and muscle, whatever else was in there. So it was just right out in the open. And they used, according to the New York Times, and I quote, earth movers, backhoes, payloaders, and conveyor belts to move and sift tons of topsoil as investigators culled samples of torn clothing, fingernails, and tiny body pieces for storage in a refrigerated trailer.
Oh, wow.
So they had to bring all these different machines in to literally dig up the soil just so they could find little pieces of victims.
Just like fragments.
Like horrific. And then they have to piece all this together.
And like at that point, how do you, because like you said, they had so much trouble identifying people, because at that point, how do you?
Oh yeah, and Tressa, actually, perfect question, because we're going to get into that right now.
Cool.
So, with complete certainty, they could finally, after all of this excavation, I mean, years.
I was literally just going to say, how long did it take?
They could identify the remains of only 27 victims, which is quite a lot. But when compared to what he has done, what we think he has done, it's not a lot. And there's definitely many more remains on this farm that are unidentified.
Did they ever plan to go back and try to look for more, or did they think they got everything they could?
I think they got as much as they could. I'm sure there's plenty more.
Yeah.
Like, because there's just the massive surface area, I think, is just, and the way that, unfortunately, the way he disposed of these bodies and the way that he, dismembered, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I think we're never going to find everything, because most of it is gone.
Unfortunately, he lived in like the quote unquote perfect place to carry out his evil shit.
He lived in the perfect place, and he had the perfect idea. Like, he really did. Unfortunately,
as fucked up as it is,
he had an evil idea that worked, and unfortunately, that sucks. But what investigators started doing was they started asking families of missing women in the area, like who had been missing forever, all the missing women, to please come forward and give their DNA so they could try to do familial DNA comparisons.
Right.
It did work a little bit, but it was unfortunate because sometimes, some of them weren't in touch with their family. Some of them, they couldn't figure out who their family was. And some of them, the family had moved away, and or the family wasn't in the area, so they couldn't give their DNA. It became an issue. And then I guess in 2000, when all the, in the year of 2000, so when this was all going on, Canada didn't have a missing person's familial DNA database.
I mean, it's still pretty new.
Yeah. So if you reported a missing person that was your family member, you couldn't give your DNA to add to a database. If that was the case, which of course, this technology all came forward at not the perfect time. And if you came forward, if you found someone missing, you had nothing. If you didn't have, their DNA, you couldn't really compare it to anything.
Much. Right.
If you just got this unknown DNA, you were like, well, we don't know what this is.
Right.
Because we have nothing to compare it to.
Right.
But obviously they're changing that now. But during the search, the investigators had obviously, like we said, found many slaughtered pigs. They were able to see in the freezers where he kept the meat, how he did it. People told him how he did it. They were able to see from body parts how he was doing it. This is important because he used the same techniques on women. And Sergeant Ross Spennard was one of the investigators on scene, and he also went to the autopsy of Serena Abbotsway, and she's the one that had the inhaler there. He said the injuries to her and the injuries to a pig that he found there were exactly the same, meaning her wrists and her ankles had been broken in the same way that they had broken a pig's hock to hang it on a hook. Which basically left the ankle of the pig, like the hock, hanging by like tendons. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And that's what he did to these women.
Do they know if he did it while they were still alive?
They don't, because they don't have enough.
And
they
never
don't
talked?
have a complete body. They don't have like it's pieces. All they have is just bits and pieces. So that's all they're going with. It's horrific. And do you remember when, I don't remember if it's part 1 or 2, probably part 2, we were talking about Lynn, the girl Lynn, who was on the farm a lot, and she was the one who happened to see something horrific.
She knew that, like, she was going to she got that call, and she was like, they were planning to kill me.
Exactly. And she had seen somebody hanging on a hook, according
And
to
she said
stories.
fat was yellow.
Exactly. And she kind of was using that to kind of get money out of him for a while.
Yeah.
Now,
Not really awesome.
there was another story I'd mentioned briefly where she had seen on like one of the freezers once that it was like covered on top of the freezers with like a drape of some sort. And that she was like, oh, that's weird. And she went to walk over to it, and Willie just looked at her and shook his head silently, and that was it.
Like, hello, ominous.
Well, that freezer, they were able to find it was draped with stuff, and underneath it there were buckets, and in those buckets were victims' body parts.
Oh.
Just sitting on a freezer. Yep. Now, to get to that freezer in the slaughterhouse, it took them a day and a half to clear a path to it.
Oh, that's just foul.
Yep, that's how insane it was in this farm.
It was
a day
like
and a half
hoarding.
to get to a freezer.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Now, the rest of Serena Abbotsway's remains and Angela Joesbury's remains were found in those buckets on top of the freezer, and Serena's hands and feet were found inside her skull.
What?
Yep. Now, when another investigator, Sergeant Tim Slay, opened the freezer, he found a human head. He just opened the freezer and found a human head.
I can't imagine the people just like retching on the sidelines.
Can you
during
imagine
this.
that? Like, this is the worst, like, living horror film, because you just have no idea what you're gonna find. Every single place, anywhere you open,
Yeah.
anywhere you look, anything you pick up, you're gonna find stuff underneath it.
This is literally a body farm.
It literally is an actual body farm.
Right.
It's horrific. They also found inside the pigsty, where like the pig slop is,
Yeah.
and like their everything, they found Brenda Wolf's jawbone with a tooth still attached with a filling in it,
Oh, wow.
and the other pieces of bones in
And
there.
I wonder if that's why the pigs didn't eat that specific tooth, because it had the filling.
Maybe.
That's wild.
It was like part of her mandible too.
oh, ow.
Yeah. So, like I said, they found no complete remains, just pieces. There were hair, teeth, pieces of flesh, bone, fingernails, just everything.
This is one of the craziest cases I have
It's
ever heard of.
unreal. And what they figured out was that he likely killed his victims. Then he dismembered them in some way, probably the same way he would slaughter an animal, which he was pretty upfront about. And then he hangs the victims on his giant hook to kind of take the pieces he needs, and he feeds the rest of them into a meat grinder. And then
And then you said like what he couldn't dispose of, he would feed to the pigs.
he would feed what he thought was, unusable. He would feed to the pigs, and then the rest of what he would find unusable, the things the pigs wouldn't eat, hair, I don't know, other pieces of bone.
Sure.
I know hair is something they're not too fond of, so
Yeah.
that was definitely part of it. That's what he would take to the rendering plant.
He'd
Those
put
are the
hair
things-
in the meat with the rendering plant.
Yeah, because that is what rendering plants take from animals. They take hair, feathers, things that you can't really use in food or anything like that. And they render those down to gelatin.
Gotcha.
So not only is there the possibility that meat on his farm, or possibility, I say, pretty assurance
Yeah.
that the meat on his farm was tainted with human remains, but now the rendering plants most definitely unknowingly used the hair and bones he mixed in with his animal parts to probably render down to gelatin, and could be in different products like makeup or candy
Or Jello.
or Jello,
Like straight up Jello.
like a lip gloss or something.
wow.
Isn't that horrific to think about?
That's fucked.
And these victims' families. The horror never ends. Like, these poor people, they have to sit there, and I'd be passing a lollipop and thinking like,
I would
Like,
just
just
like
thinking
how would
about
you
it.
ever eat any kind of meat again,
you
or like
just
put
can't-
makeup on again?
You just can't ever just
Get that out of your
lay down
head.
and go to sleep.
No.
About, you know what I mean? Like, it never becomes something that you could just live with. It's like you're always in it. It's because it gets more and more horrific as it goes.
Because anything you do reminds you
Yeah.
of the fact that
It just gets worse and worse.
It
It's
does.
horrible. And anthropologists were actually called in, and forensic experts, of course, because there were so many bones. And most of the things they were finding were so decayed and rotted and disarticulated that they needed help, and they were trying to get DNA off of these tiny little things. Some of them they couldn't get DNA off of. Some of them they got DNA, but it was like they couldn't really do much with it. It's just these poor victims and these poor victims' families. I just feel really bad. But luckily, in February 22nd, 2002, Willie was arrested. He was first arrested on 2 charges of first-degree murder and 4 more after that. He was charged with the whole 26 counts, but they really wanted to focus on those 6 that they knew were really solid. Mm-hmm. This was super controversial, of course, because there's many more than 6, and those families were like, I would like my justice to be served.
But from like a judicial
But they were
standpoint.
looking at it like, we know these are rock solid. Why are we gonna like risk it kind of thing? That's what they were thinking.
Which I understand why the families were like, really? But I also understand
I can totally see both sides.
Why. Yeah, exactly.
Now, in 2004, this is when it was revealed to the public in Canada
Oh my
that
God.
there may have been human remains in the meat sold from the Pickton farm.
I obviously, like, they had to tell them that,
Yeah.
but like, I could have gone my whole life if I lived in Canada without knowing that.
Yep. And they said, so it's not proven, but it's also not disproven. And a health official said it was entirely possible that there was. He actually said, quote, "It's very disturbing to think about, but there is the possibility of some cross-contamination. But the degree of it, when or how much, we really don't know. I think if we could rule it out, we would definitely like to."
But how can you?
Well, what they did was they put out an official alert to everyone. Anyone who had purchased meat from the Pickton farm was asked to come forward if they still had the meat to bring it to them.
Yeah.
The problem here is people were like, yeah, I bought a pig from them like 7 years ago. I don't have that pig anymore.
Right.
Like, this does not help me.
No.
But, you know, they did try. I don't know if anyone came forward with it. There was no update on that. But I mean, can you imagine? Like, I
would
think of, like,
imagine the rendering plants maybe didn't want to come forward if they had bought meat from them.
well, no, the rendering plants didn't buy meat from them because they don't buy meat. They buy the leftovers.
But like the people, you know what I mean?
These are just civilian people who had bought meat to cook for their families.
Oh shit!
Like, that's what these people were.
Maybe
They're
they
asking
maybe they
people
were
to
just like,
come
I
forward.
don't want to know.
I think most people were like, I don't have the meat anymore.
Yeah.
That was probably
because it was so long ago.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep meat for that long. And a lot of people too, like you said, probably were like, yeah, I don't know, I don't want to know that.
Yeah,
I'm good. But
gonna go ahead and get rid of that meat.
yeah, we're gonna just get rid of that and just move on with our lives. So here's the rub for Willie. Here's Willie and his lack of functioning neurons.
Oh, shit.
So he was placed in a jail cell, and he was placed in there with one other cellmate. Mm-hmm. That cellmate was actually an undercover police officer.
Love it. That poor man that had to sit in a fucking cell with Willie Pickton.
And you know what? He killed it. I'll give it to him.
He probably stank so bad.
I know. And he looked like he did. So they were trying to get anything they could just to help identify these other victims, you know, see if he said anything. They were hoping his dumbass would brag and just slip to this guy.
Yeah.
Because people who knew Willie, like I think I mentioned it in one of the parts, was that he would get kind of overly sherry, and like he would just kind of say something and then be like, oops, shit.
Remember when he did that to like the kid that was living on the farm and then was like, oh, I should beat the shit out of him?
Oh, I should have him beaten within an inch of his life and have him move.
Because I said too much.
Now, even if it's a stranger, and of course now he's going to feel like he doesn't have a lot to lose, so he's just probably going to do it. Now, in this video, you can see it online. We'll try to post the link to the YouTube of it because there's like a YouTube. I can't remember exactly whose it is that has like the entire video. And he's wearing like a white t-shirt and he's just sitting there disgusting and greasy.
Was it white?
And he's eating something like food on like a plate. And the entire time he's talking about this, he is eating this the whole time. And he's like scraping every last bit of this food off this plate. And it's like what they're talking about and him sitting there eating is just like,
that's foul.
That does not compute. It's just so much.
Willie Pickton 100% talks with his mouth full. With his mouth full.
100%.
I guarantee it.
100%. Okay, so what they discovered through this little excursion was that Pickton thought it was great that he was in the limelight. He loved it.
What an
loved it.
absolute jackass.
He considered himself famous. He was totally into the attention. He was very excited to be around what he thought was another criminal because he was like, cool, we're like in the same club now. And he wanted to brag.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to talk about it. So he just spilled the entire beans. He started talking all about it. He talked about how he had committed each crime, how he had kept all the IDs and all the personal effects of people. He also said, quote, "I got a murder charge on me and 48 more to come. Whoopee."
Are you kidding?
Yep.
He said whoopee.
And he said he had murdered 49 women and was annoyed because he got arrested before he could hit 50. He actually said this.
How do you... I just don't understand. Like, how is that your life goal?
And let me give you a couple quotes from it, just so you can really get the idea.
Oh, boy.
So when the undercover cop asked him what they had on him, they were like, well, he was like, well, and I love this undercover cop trying to be a criminal because he just says fucking, like in the weirdest places. Like, he'll be like, well, what do they have on you, fucking? You know, like he just puts it in like a place. I'm like, I don't even know how Willie
they have
got
on
this.
you.
Like, I feel like Willie should have been like, are you okay, sir?
Yeah, but like think
Willie's
of Willie's
an idiot.
company that he kept.
But it's just so funny because he just puts fucking, like, I understand like using that word to try to like sound tough, like if you're in that situation, because like what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But he puts it in very strange places, and he's
not used to saying it all the time.
It's really funny.
He should have took a note out of our book.
He should have. Just we'll help you. We'll help you
we
put
got
it in
you.
the right spots. But when he asked him what he had on him, Willie just replied, DNA. So already he's like, there's DNA on my farm. Like, he's already like, yep.
Yikes.
And the officer said at one point, I find the best way to fucking dispose of something is fucking take it to the ocean. And Willie said, oh yeah? And then he responded, oh, fuck. Do you know what the fucking ocean does to things? There ain't much left. That's what the undercover cop said.
Okay.
You can see how...
it's a lot.
Well, Willie responded to something like, let me take it down from like, that's funny that cop said that to, oh, this chills my bones. So he said, the cop said, oh, fuck, do you know what the fucking ocean does to things? There ain't much left. Mm-hmm. Willie responded, I did better than that.
Wow.
And when you watch this video, you're like...
Because you know what he did.
Oh. Like, it's just like, I did better than that.
That's
I did better than
terrifying.
the ocean can do. And it's like, and he did. Mm-hmm. That's what's even sadder is
that's the thing.
You destroyed these women.
That's what
in
makes
every single way that you could.
That's what makes that chill run through your
It gave me literal chills. Ugh. And so they had the officer respond to him like... What? Huh? What?
What the fucking did you do?
What'd you do? Well, Willie gets up with his like tray, his little plate of slop, whatever the hell he's eating, walks over to the guy and sits super close to him.
Oh, no.
Which I was like,
Get
I
away
cannot.
from me.
So this officer's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And he literally just whispers right into his face, a rendering plant.
Oh, shit.
And he told him there wasn't much left after that, but he said, unfortunately, I got sloppy at the end.
Wow.
And that was his thing, was he said, I got sloppy. That's why I got caught.
Willie,
and
you
were
like, born sloppy.
I was just going to say, honey, you came out sloppy.
You came out the womb straight slopping.
Your soul is sloppy.
Yeah.
Like, you are stamped with a sloppy stamp.
Your aura is literally brown.
You're sloppy.
And not amber.
Well, and then he said, that's why I got sloppy. I wanted to hit the big 5-0.
That's
and he
so,
said,
like,
yeah.
I can't wrap my brain around that.
Talking about it like it's a baseball stat.
Right.
That's what's like killing me is like the big 5-0. That's not the big 5-0. That's 49 women.
Human lives.
Like, that's crazy. Who had people who love them and care about them and miss them. 49 women.
And that's the big 5-0.
And you're talking about it, the big 5-0. I wish I got that.
That's so messed up.
So then he said, I think most of them, based on the fucking evidence, I think I'm nailed to the cross. But if that happens, there will be about 15 other people who are going to go down. Fuck. Some will go down the tank. So now he's saying there's about 15 other people that are also going to go down. So now I'm like,
yeah,
what was happening out here?
That's the thing, because I know Willie obviously carried out a lot of this on his own, but
I believe he got the 49.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But I think other people were involved.
Well, and I think there's more remains out there than they're going to be able to put to just 49.
And think of the criminals that were on this farm.
But it's like, then you think about it and you're like, what the fuck was going on at this farm? Like, all the stuff we know was going on, and then you add in that possibly like there were multiple murderers just torturing and slaughtering women out there. Like,
it is, like you said in the beginning, it is this stuff straight out of like a Rob Zombie film.
Yeah, it's like Rob Zombie would be like, whoa, pull back on this one. Like, he'd be like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
It's like the Firefly family.
Well, and then he started, it truly reminds me of House of a Thousand Corpses, when like in like the beginning of Devil's Rejects, which I love Rob Zombie films, like that's just who I am as a person. But the Devil's Rejects films, when they're doing like the news report and they're saying like this many bodies were found in the basement, this many bodies were found in a freezer, pieces of bodies like in the beginning of the song, and blah, blah, blah. It's exactly that.
Oh man,
it's exactly that. And
I
don't know what
maybe
year that came out. I know. Say.
Maybe he got some kind of I dare to say inspiration.
But it's like I wonder if he looked at this case and was like, "Whoa, that's the shit out of horror films."
Yeah, I mean, anybody in their right mind would say
Rob,
that.
Are you listening,
Sir Zombie?
Sir Zombie, can you please send us a quick note? Just send us a Gmail real quick.
Yo,
Rob
bitch!
Zombie.
Imagine if he sent us a quick note.
No, Mama would kill over. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would go very well.
Rob Zombie always reminds me of our live show in New York.
But either way, so he finished his whole thing, saying this whole thought by saying, "I said they were my friends. I thought they were my fucking friends." Because then he goes into saying how all his friends started ratting him out.
Well, yeah, because Scott Chubb was like, yo!
And like that guy Andy came forward and like a few other people. So he's sitting there being like, my friend sold me out. And it's like,
did he know, what was the woman who he was like sisters with? Was her name Linda?
Lisa.
Yeah. Did he know that she like had any kind of involvement?
He didn't mention that, but I'm sure he probably got word of it, I'm assuming. He said, and this is when he started getting into the I'm famous thing and whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah, like
so
you're not though.
He said that he wanted to be bigger than those serial killers in the States. And if he had got to 50, he said he would be bigger than them.
Wow.
And then he said,
this is not a
which
competition.
I love that he's like, I have to beat the United States. We're like, you don't.
No,
it's
don't.
Like, don't.
No one
like,
ever aspires to be like us, especially not Canadians.
Don't be that way.
No.
Like, definitely not in that way. We
just keep it Canadian.
We don't want anyone trying to beat those. We're not proud of those records. It's not something you want to do. And then he turned to him and like, because the officer was like, yeah, you're right. Like, you would be like the bigger if you hit 50. And then he turns to him and says his record was like, what, 42, he says? And he doesn't say who. And then I was like, I wonder if he's talking about Gary Ridgway, because it was around the same time and it was also very similar.
Yeah.
The like MO here, like not in the way he killed women, but like that he was targeting sex workers and, you know, he was trying to find quote unquote less dead people so he could do as many as possible.
So Willie wanted to do the same thing.
I imagine he was, but it's like he's very wrong with that one because Gary Ridgway confessed to 71.
Yeah.
And they convicted him of 49, I believe. So they're right on par.
Wow.
But that was strange that he was like, I want to be like him because...
Do you think Gary Ridgway actually killed 71 people? You know how they get to prison and they're like, I killed like 1 million.
I feel like that one might be a possibility because he was choosing people that he felt he could hide for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think in his case, he did find a lot of people who weren't close to their family or didn't have ties or connections. And I think there is like more out there. At 71, I don't know.
But like could be close.
I wouldn't be surprised with him. He's a crazy dude.
Gotcha.
We'll cover him eventually.
Yeah,
trust
he's
me.
Wild.
So there was all in all, there was 200,000 DNA samples collected.
Wow.
600,000 exhibits from the crime scene. And again, $70 million it cost.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I think I had mentioned it before that it was the Crown who decided that they were only going to go after Willie for like the 6 counts of murder instead of the entire thing.
Yeah, you had said
because
that.
they really felt like those were solid, so they didn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
But obviously people were pissed. Now, I'm going to, because he was only nailed for those 6, I want to name all the women.
Yeah, it's important.
Here really quick, just so, you know, it's
pay
important.
respect to everybody.
Yeah. We have Serena Abbotsway, Mona Lee Wilson, Andrea Josbury, Brenda Ann Wolfe, Marie Lee Frey, Georgina Faith Papin, Jacqueline Michelle McDonnell, Diane Rosemary Rock, Heather Kathleen Bottomley, Jennifer Lynn Firminger, Helen May Hallmark, Patricia Rose Johnson, Heather Chinnock, Tanya Holick, Sherry Irving, Inga Monique Hall, Tiffany Drew, Sarah DeVries, Cynthia Felix, Angela Rebecca Jardine, Diana Melnick, They had a Jane Doe that they did attribute to him, but they since pulled back on that and said that they don't think it was him. There was also Debra Lynn Jones, Wendy Crawford, Carrie Koski, Andra Faye Borhaven, and Cara Louise Ellis, aka Nikki.
Gotcha.
So that when you read them out loud like that, it's like really...
I just counted it on my hands as you were doing it. Like, yeah, that's insane.
It's a lot when
it's
you read
just
them
so
out loud.
sad. And then the thing is, like, those are the 26 that you read out loud. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you read the full 49 out loud.
Exactly. Those are the ones that they can identify.
That's so sad.
Those are the bodies that they could identify from pieces on this
then
farm.
Think of the families that most likely know that he did this to their daughter, but they don't have that final piece of like, yes, he did it. They don't get that closure.
There were so many family members who said they would wait outside this farm while they were doing the investigation, being like, I just need to know if my daughter, my sister, my
cousin, my best friend, my girlfriend,
ex, my friend, just if someone, they said, I need to know if they died on this farm. Like they just need to know.
Because it's closure. It's a piece of closure. It's not obviously the whole thing, but.
Yeah, and it's awful closure, but it's something.
Right.
In one of these victims, Sarah DeVries, we actually, when I read about her, I mentioned that she was a poet. When I read one of her journal entries about her talking about how she was scared to become one of these missing women, I was saying how like she's just very well spoken and she sounded like she had such like a creative, like articulate mind. Mm-hmm. Well, one of our listeners, who I'm not going to say the name because they didn't explicitly tell me I could, they told me that they knew. They didn't know Sarah, but they have some kind of connection to Sarah.
Okay.
And they said that they just appreciated, the victims' names being out there and talking about them. And they also wanted to say, anyways, this is all to say that I want to introduce you to Sarah DeVries. Sarah was a daughter, sister, mother, niece, cousin, friend, roller skater, protector, sex worker, and poet. She also vanished from Vancouver's downtown east side in the 90s, and her DNA was later found on the Pickton farm. Her sister, Maggie DeVries, wrote a book about Sarah's life and disappearance.
Oh, wow.
And the missing and murdered women of Vancouver. She included several poems of Sarah's throughout the book, including one that I'll share with you because it's a reminder that the 49 women who died on that farm were not just another death. And here's the poem that Sarah DeVries wrote. Women's body found beaten beyond recognition. You sip your coffee, taking a drag of your smoke, turning the page, taking a bite of your toast. Just another day, just another death. Just one more thing you so easily forget. You and your soft, sheltered life just go on, for nobody special from your world is gone. Just another day, just another death, just another Hastings Street whore, sentenced to death. The judge's gavel already fallen, sentence already passed, but you just sip your coffee, washing down your toast. She was a broken down angel, a child lost with no place, a human being in disguise. She touched my life. She was somebody. She was no whore. She was somebody special who just lost her way. She was somebody fighting for her life, trying to survive, a lonely lost child who died in the night, all alone, scared, gasping for air. That made me choke up, thinking
my body was like vibrating that entire time.
That ugh,
it's just... so the two things that you've read so far, it's almost like obviously she wasn't aware of what was going to happen to her, but it's just so crazy her style of writing.
She was very intuitive to the world around her. It feels. Yeah. When you read her writings, you're like, wow.
And it's just so haunting that that's how she went.
Yeah, I feel like it's just she had. I don't know. She had a connection somewhere that just...
I remember once we had an assembly at school, and I've always remembered this. I don't remember exactly the girl's name, but I believe she died in a school shooting, and she had written that she knew that she was going to die young, and she was a really good poet and stuff, and she always wrote about the fact that she knew she was going to die before she was supposed to.
That's so scary.
And that's just really reminiscent of
it does remind me of
that. Obviously, Sarah wasn't writing that she was going to die, but she was writing she was afraid. And
about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for sending that because wow, it really touched me, and it was just an awesome thing to be able to read, to say she's a cousin, she was a roller skater, a protector,
she's not less
she
dead.
Was more than this, So thank you for that. That was awesome. always welcome.
That was really touching.
So in a press conference, the Deputy Chief Constable Doug Lepard from the Vancouver Police Department said about this case, quote, "I wish from the bottom of my heart that we would have caught him sooner. I wish that the several agencies involved, that we could have done better in so many ways. I wish that all the mistakes that were made we could undo. And I wish more lives would have been saved. So on my behalf and behalf of the Vancouver Police Department and all the men and women who worked on the investigation, I would say to the families how sorry we are for your losses because we did not catch the monster sooner."
Wow.
Which, yeah.
But it's
You
like,
didn't-
they didn't want to investigate.
You didn't listen.
Like, no, everybody was calling and saying
listen.
stuff, and like everybody knew that something was up.
Like that's nice words, but
Yeah.
it's like you guys acted way too late.
Too little, too late.
And according to a lot of our listeners in Canada, they're still not acting on these, especially Indigenous women and women working as sex workers and women who are, marginalized society.
It's like, wake up.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, this should have taught you.
The thing that bothers me too is that I feel like sex work is becoming more and more mainstream now.
Yeah.
Like, look at OnlyFans. I just watched an
Absolutely.
entire documentary about it. So that's also sex work. If somebody went missing and they had an OnlyFans page, are they not going to investigate that?
Yeah, it's like, is it
are they
just
less dead? Or
it's weird.
Right.
It's just weird. It's a person.
right? No
it's
matter
a
what,
person.
like sex worker, hairdresser, autopsy technician,
Yeah.
fucking. I can't think of another job, but you know what I mean?
No
Like,
other jobs in the world.
that's all there is. But like, work at a grocery store, fucking dog groomer. We're all humans.
Exactly.
You know?
It's just crazy.
I
to me.
don't get it.
It really is. Well, in January 2006, there was the trial began.
Yeah.
He pled not guilty to 27 charges because they removed the Jane Doe charge.
Why did he? Why?
In August, those charges were that was when it was split to the 6 and 20.
Okay.
Because, of course. So a year later, he faced the trial for the 6. The jury came back not guilty on first-degree murder and actually guilty on second-degree murder, which does not make sense to me in the least.
Why?
Don't know, but people were very upset about it.
Canada, what the fuck is up?
Well, Canada was like, what the fuck is up? Like, I think Canada was like, huh? I have no idea. I don't know. I couldn't find anything that justified it. So
Yeah, that's strange.
Initially, there is like a happy twist to this though. Initially, he was up for parole in like 10 years, 10, 15 years. He was going to be able to have parole.
What?
Because that was for second degree murder. That's the traditional one. But after reading, I think it was 18 victim impact statements, the judge decided that he changed it to life without the possibility of parole until 25 years, which is the max he could give for second-degree murder.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually what they give for first-degree murder. I believe I read that somewhere. So
Okay.
he really changed it to be like, no.
Yeah, like that's ridiculous.
And he's not going to get paroled. Like, it's not going to happen.
hope
And it's
not.
like he will very likely die in prison. In October 2010, just to update on a different part, there was a lot of pressure from the community, especially in Vancouver, and it was on the Canadian government to open an inquiry into the disappearances of these women, these missing women and girls,
Right.
and how it wasn't handled well by law enforcement, and how this could have been so much less than what it was if they had just acted when they should have. And it concluded, this inquiry, that this investigation was grossly mishandled, and that they did not do their best to solve these cases, and that they haven't done their best to solve all the other missing women and girls cases. So they did start putting a little bit of changes into effect. But on December 8th, 2015, Canada launched a national public inquiry into the insanely disproportionate amount of Indigenous women who go missing and murdered each year in Canada. And in 2014, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police actually stated that there were 1,200 missing and murdered Indigenous women between 1980 and 2012.
1,200?
Oh, yeah, but Indigenous women's groups, they document it at somewhere around 4,000.
How do you not realize that 4,000 people in your community are dead?
Well, a lot of it is because of underreporting, because you saw there were a few instances in part 2 where Willie, somebody got away from him and they were like, I didn't report it because they wouldn't care.
Right.
So this There's tons of that. And then it's also just it's underreported anyways by the police as well. And the police didn't look into them a lot or didn't create any kind of database for it. There was just nothing done. There was no organization done to try to fix this like plague that's happening.
That whole place needs a revamp.
And I found a crazy stat from Canada, actually. The homicide rate between 1997 and 2000, it was 7 times higher for Indigenous women over non-Indigenous women.
Wow.
So that's just a crazy stat.
Yeah.
And the National Inquiry's final report was completed in 2019. They said that I think I actually found, yes, the website, it's for the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. It's www.mmIWG. And what it said in the first page you'll see of the website, when you go find like the final report, they've posted it on there. What they wrote on their website was the National Inquiry's final report reveals that persistent and deliberate human and Indigenous rights violations and abuses are the root cause behind Canada's staggering rates of violence against Indigenous women, girls, and 2SLGBTQIA people. The 2-volume report calls for transformative legal and social changes to resolve the crisis that has devastated Indigenous communities across the country. And then it says the final report is comprised of the truths of more than 2,380 family members, survivors of violence, experts, and knowledge keepers shared over 2 years of cross-country public hearings and evidence gathering. It delivers 231 individual calls for justice directed at governments, institutions, social service providers, industries, and all Canadians. As documented in the final report, testimony from family members and survivors of violence spoke about the surrounding context, marked by multi-generational and intergenerational trauma and marginalization in the form of poverty, insecure housing or homelessness, and barriers to education, employment, healthcare, and cultural support. Experts and knowledge keepers spoke to specific colonial and patriarchal policies that displaced women from their traditional roles in communities and governance and diminished their status in society, leaving them vulnerable to violence.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is the final report was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The cliff notes on that are, da fuck.
What are you doing about it? It's like insane.
So what are they doing about it?
Well, unfortunately, I guess this is a very ongoing thing. I'm hoping,
since 2000, it's been 21 fucking years.
I honestly urge everyone to go, especially if you want to look into this particular thing that's going on, go to www.mmIWG-ffada.ca. Okay. And that's going to take you to that website. It's missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. And it tells you everything. It tells you all the events that are going on, places you can donate. All the updates are on there.
I think our next big show, we know where we're donating.
Yeah, it's insane.
Holy
it really
cow.
is. And I had shared on my Twitter the other night an Etsy shop from a listener's friend.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and it's an Indigenous run shop, and she does have like a red dress pin and sticker that if you bought that, she donates 50% to the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
Love that.
So I think anything you can do like that, anything we can find, definitely share it out, get people listening to it.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, on August 4th, 2010, Crown prosecutors stayed the balance of pending murder charges against Willie Pickton. So that means that there's no future trials for any of the other missing women.
Why?
Don't know.
I'm a little mad at the Crown.
So that's a little mad at the Crown. I'm not gonna lie. The Netflix show, it really bummed me out.
I've never watched that.
I haven't either. I kind of wanted to though. But yeah.
Alrighty.
So I mean, he's in jail. He's not going anywhere. He's just living his life disgustingly. I didn't find any updates on him, but
I don't want him to go through another trial because I'm sure he derives some kind of pleasure from that and relives it somehow. But I want the families of the women,
yeah, it's really a catch-22
to get their chance to read their
is.
victim impact statements. And
I know, that's the thing.
You know?
That's the thing. Because those really made a difference in the first trial, obviously.
And it makes a difference when you get to see somebody put away for your daughter's murder.
Yeah, exactly. For your family members, not just, figuratively. Not just like a symbolic gesture. Yeah.
There's not even any fucking symbolic gestures here.
Yeah. It's just
they got nothing.
Well, because they're being like, he's in prison. So like for all of it. And it's like, no, but that's
not
just,
enough.
That's just a blanket over everything.
Right.
And again, I want them to find more. I want them to be able to identify more of these remains. It's killing me.
I feel like if they went back, they would still find stuff to this day.
They definitely would. And the ones they already have that they haven't been able to identify, that kills me.
Well, now especially. I mean, we saw the fucking Golden State Killer. Come on.
It's a possibility. This thing will go on forever.
The familial DNA hopefully will help.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed. So that's Willie Pickton.
That was a huge bummer.
He's a lot. Mm-hmm. And he's terrible. And his family's terrible, and his farm is terrible. He's terrible, but he's in prison. And Canada, I'm really glad he's in prison. And to all our Canadian listeners who reached out and like gave us tips and tidbits and stories, and I read every single email that like came in about this, like that from every single person that was like, oh, let me just tell you my quick little thing, or let me help you with this farm thing and all that. So like,
this was a team effort.
Just know that like you guys really helped like put this together. So you guys were awesome with that. And you were so cool. So thank you so much. And
wow.
I'm glad to be out of Willie Pickton's world, and I need to get out of it.
Yeah, I'm ready to get out of it. But next episode we're gonna get into somehow an even more fucked up world.
Yeah, we're gonna drag you right back down. But for like a couple days we're out of it.
Yeah, just like what, till Saturday?
Yeah, into our Patreons, we have something fun that we're gonna be giving you in the next like
March 1st.
March 1st, so right? Yeah.
Monday.
No,
Sunday, I believe.
Either way.
I don't know. Someday.
Whatever. It's
Someday.
March 1st. You're getting it. One of those days.
We've been working on like a fun, different
It's just
surprise.
a fun little thing that we wanted to do.
It's just little. Don't get too excited.
It's just tiny, okay? No, but it was like something fun, so we're excited about it. But so thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks. I love you. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram
at Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter
at A Morbid Podcast.
I don't know who's there right now, but
I was gonna say
both of us are on Twitter breaks.
I'm just taking a hiatus from social media. It's just like depressing.
You know what?
The world is depressing to look at right now.
Retweet.
Retweet.
I'm gonna retweet you IRL.
There you go.
Oh god, I hate myself. And then send us a Gmail, because guys, seriously, whenever you send us Gmails about our cases, it's like we do read every single one of them.
Yeah, I got so much more information thanks to our listeners from that. So that's a great thing. So thanks for all those great things.
And that's all. So we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you're Canada and the Crown.
Well, Canada's awesome.
Oh, no. Canada's great. Not so weird that you're Canada's crown. I'm mad at the Crown.
I'm mad at the Crown.
I'm pissed at the fucking Crown, man.
But Canada,
yeah.
We freaking love
I love
you.
Canada.
We love
I'm
you.
so excited to go to Canada. Hi, Johnny and Tyler.
I was going to say, that's spooky.
Spooky gay bullshit. Bye.
Introducing Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa with bright citrus, real red jalapenos, guajillo chiles. Usually, you add sauce to the food, but when the sauce is this good, the food is just there to get the sauce to your mouth. That rolled quesadilla, not a rolled quesadilla anymore. Now it's a sauce shovel. Taco Bell's jalapeno citrus salsa. Get it with any item on the Cantina chicken menu while it's here. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. While supplies last, contact store for availability.
Join me, Cyndi Lauper, with Chef Michelle Bernstein and Dr. Panico to talk about psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, the potential connection and risk of developing permanent joint damage.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
Learn more at 1-844-COSENTIX or Cosentix.com/Cindy.